Hey everybody, Lazy Gardener here. It's September 21st, 2021, and it's no secret that I love to compost, maybe a little too much. But today I'm going to take you on a tour of my composter area where I have the whole setup, and where I find that if you kind of get it all set up right, you can compost very quickly and very efficient. You can make a lot of compost with a little amount of work. So why don't we take a look at how everything is set up. I'll start here in my first area. These are earth machines. I get them subsidized from my county for $35 a piece. And I keep asking them if there's a limit, and they say no limit. So every year I buy a couple more. These are just fantastic for not only composting in, but storing stuff. And so you're going to see a lot of these. These little labels here is something that my son made during the lockdown. And he 3D printed these. And it's really great that I can just take these plates out and I can swap them and move them around, because very often, since I'm storing stuff, I like to move stuff around. So leaves are a really, really important part of the garden. I use them they have a lot of different stages, and they're just so many different uses. And so they're kind of categorized or sorted and stored according to what their purpose is. So here's shredded, or what kind of breakdown they've done. Here's shredded leaves. Leaf mold over here is much more broken down leaves, but all it is still just leaves. This and that are really the same thing. Now I want to take you into my main composter area, okay, where I keep my various raw materials and make the compost. So again, I told you, you'll see a lot of these earth machines. So the first one here is what I call bulk carbons. It's very similar just to leaves in terms of the composting process. It's all these dried out browns and things and waste that come out of the garden, and they're great fuel in the compost process. Over here is just a bucket where I gather and pre-compost weeds. All the stuff I want to hot compost. I want to kill all those weed seeds and all the pathogens that are on those plants. But what I do is I store it here because it collects over time, and then as it breaks down, I have another method for processing all of that. Now, in near the bulk of my composters, where I compost kitchen waste, that's the main and best product that you can have in the garden. I have a video here how you can hot compost in one of these bins, and I'll show you right here. I just filled this one 3 days ago. I'm going to take off the lid. I've already stuck a thermometer in there for you, and you can see that that's gotten up to quite the temperature. And you'll see that a lot of this went down already. This was at the very top. And so that video tells you how to do that if that's how you're inclined. And I get rid of a lot of kitchen waste in here. There's hundreds and hundreds of pounds, well over 1,000 pounds I can process in these very easily over the course of a season. Okay, I'm going to bring you over here where the rest of these are just in various stages of breakdown and collection. Over here is the final product, and you can see this is from the composter nearer to the bottom, so you're going to get a nicer, wetter kind of compost, but that's just organic material. That's just kitchen waste, the potato peels and bread and any other scraps and vegetable things and eggs that you throw out, and recycled with grass clippings and leaves, and it makes the best food that you can get for your garden. Let me show you where I can do this in even a much larger method. Over here in the pallet composters, this really supplies a lot more compost. I don't think it's as rich as, say, kitchen compost, but I've got a video here that when I just had one of them, maybe I'll update that someday, but if you want to see how one of these pallet composters work, you can check out that video. Now, the pallet composters are just made out of pallets. That's all they are. They're practically free. The most lumber I really had to put in here was these slats that are removable, that you can take out and get lower, and as you want access to your materials. This one here is empty, and this is what you'll just fill it up. It just says some plywood in the back, and like I said, the cost is practically nothing, and I just put a plywood lid on top with some bricks, and you can slide it on and off. The rest of these are for after you fill this, you want to kind of flip them occasionally as they decompose, because you want to stir the materials and get the combination right of moisture and oxygen, and so that'll help break everything down. So that's what's going on in these. This one here was flipped one time into here. You can see this is reasonably broken down. It is definitely not finished compost. It would be considered partially finished compost. That's just leaves, weeds, and grass. Over here, we have one that was flipped twice or turned twice into here, and you can see this is much more broken down. Still has some clumps in it, but it's really getting there. And then this one over here has been flipped over or turned one more time into its final place where it's done. This is absolutely done. Could it decompose a little more? A little bit, but be happy to use this in the garden. This is absolutely ready, finished compost. And it's not hard at all, and it's not even that much labor. Okay, so I just, over here, just have a pile of wood chips, just for extra wood chips in case I need them. And what I'll do is I'll take you and just show you just the rest of the composting area. Wood chips are great. These wood chips that you see down here were free, delivered by chipdrop.com. You can go on their website and order free delivery of wood chips, but I really suggest you watch one of their videos that why you don't want that. There's a lot of negatives, but it all works for me. I can take a lot of them. Over here, I just have some storage shed, some tools and stuff that I need back here. Here is a bulk composter. This is where all the things that take very long time to break down, or just things that don't want to put in a composter, or just you have too much material at a given time. A lot of really noxious stuff will go in there. Not noxious, but like trees, things that are very hard to break down, like this, arborvitae, clippings. But underneath there is just a tremendous amount of great dirt that I've been stacking in there for years and years of all that breakdown. Here's where I keep some pine needles that I use in the garden as one of the areas for really keeping things neat and weed free. It's a great ground cover. Over here is where I get the leaves delivered. I get a large shipment of leaves and pine needles at the end of the year. People are looking to get rid of them, and they're happy if you take them. And then lastly, I just have some horse manure that I can use to supplement my composting process if I don't have enough compost. In fact, I use quite a bit of that as well, because even with this whole operation, it's hard to make enough to keep up with the entire garden and still have a life. All right, everybody, that's my composter area tour. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, and if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. And if you want to see those videos I referenced earlier, you can click here, here, or I have a channel link here below. Anyway, that's it. Good luck and good gardening.